Mercedes has already sealed the 2020 Constructors' Championship, but the battle for third place is set to rage to the end of the season. With 4 races remaining, Renault, McLaren and Racing Point are separated by just 1 point, and even Ferrari can't be entirely ruled out, even if it is the longest of long shots. We all know about the strengths of these teams, but this battle is more likely to be decided by points lost to weaknesses. So we've picked out the weak point in each team's armoury as they go into battle not only to join F1's top 3, but also take the millions of dollars in extra prize money that it will be worth. But before we reveal the chosen weaknesses, please do hit subscribe if you haven't already done so, as we do appreciate it, and perhaps even strike the notifications bell so you know the second there's something new to watch. So on with the weaknesses. Renault, reliability. Renault has climbed to third place in the Constructors' Championship off the back of a strong run of results for Daniel Ricciardo in recent races, but it would be in a better position had it not been compromised by reliability problems in 1/3 of the races held this year. Ricciardo's teammate Esteban Ocon retired for the 3rd time in 5 Grand Prix in the last race at Imola, reporting quite a few issues after the race. While Renault could do little about the tear-off that got stuck in his brake duct early on and forced an early pit stop, Ocon then suffered a clutch issue before being forced to retire with a gearbox problem. Ocon has suffered 4 car problems in 13 races this season, costing him points in the Styrian, Tuscan, Eiffel and Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. But Ricciardo also retired from the season opener with an overheating problem that then struck Ocon 1 week later, despite Renault taking drastic action to avoid a repeat and declaring there was no fundamental problem. Given the battle for third could be decided by which team can most consistently deliver 2-car points finishes over the final 4 races of the season, something Renault has managed just 5 times in 13 races, largely thanks to self-inflicted problems, this is a big concern, even though it has had, on average, the 3rd fastest car recently. McLaren, car pace. In the 5 races that followed its standout performance at Monza, where McLaren was the closest challenger to Mercedes, it has slipped back in the midfield battle. Having been on average the 4th fastest car in the races up to and including Monza, it has been on average only the 6th fastest car since. This has coincided with the team struggling to get on top of a major upgrade package that is designed to get the most out of the new nose concept that was first trialled at Mugello and made its race debut at Sochi. Despite finishing 5th with the full package on the car at the Nürburgring, Carlos Sainz described the race as 60 laps of struggle, and while McLaren has made progress with it in subsequent events, we've yet to see it optimised. McLaren has partly mitigated this disadvantage with the strong performance of its drivers, who have managed to reach Q3 9 times out of 10 attempts in the last 5 race weekends, and also picked up good results. But that has only been enough to limit the losses, and having been 3rd in the Constructors' Championship after Monza with a 14-point advantage, it is now 4th and 1 point behind Renault, which was 23 points behind after the Italian Grand Prix. Racing Point, Lance Stroll. Having made a strong start to the season, Lance Stroll has struggled recently and hasn't scored a point in the past 5 race weekends. While several of those were not his fault, with his Mugello crash caused by a tyre letting go, his Russian Grand Prix lasting only 4 corners before being fired into the wall by Charles Leclerc, and COVID-19 forcing him to miss the Nürburgring race entirely, there are concerns about his performance. He was well off the pace of teammate Sergio Perez during the Portuguese and Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekends, and collisions with Lando Norris and Esteban Ocon early in those races meant he wasn't a points contender. This has been put down to a combination of the after effects of his Mugello crash, a COVID-19 hangover, and struggles for confidence with the feel of the upgraded suspension on turning. While Perez's form has been good, scoring points in all 11 races he has contested, having missed the Silverstone doubleheader thanks to COVID, it's not been enough to keep Racing Point in 3rd place, despite having what rivals reckon to be the strongest midfield package. A 15-point deduction for a legally designed brake duct hasn't helped, but with the team talking about needing to focus more on qualifying pace after struggling in that area recently, neither driver made Q3 at Imola, the key is that it achieves points finishes with both drivers over the remaining 4 races. And for that, it needs Stroll back on the form he showed earlier in the season. Ferrari, everything but Leclerc. Ferrari is the rank outsider in the fight for third place, but given it is 32 points behind, it cannot be entirely ruled out of the running, even if it should be more concerned about holding off AlphaTauri in the battle for sixth. Red Bull's second seed may be discounted from the battle for third thanks to being 46 points down, but it's only 14 behind Ferrari. It's impossible to pick out a single weakness for Ferrari, as with the exception of Charles Leclerc's consistently excellent level of performance, there are so many problems. The engine isn't powerful enough thanks to changes made in the wake of the controversial secret deal struck with the FIA over the winter. Sebastian Vettel is performing terribly in the second Ferrari and has scored just 2 points in the last 7 races. The car aerodynamically isn't especially strong, and Ferrari is hardly executing races well, as the pit stop blunder and decision to make a pit stop under the safety car that cost Vettel a few points at Imola proves. While Ferrari can't be ruled out of challenging for third entirely, realistically, it's going to take a miracle to achieve the near impossible. So who will win the battle? Right now, it's too close to call between Renault, McLaren and Racing Point in particular. But let us know in the comments below who you think will prevail, or perhaps if you think Ferrari really can make a fight of it.